Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. Before we say anything, Merry Christmas, Nakamoto. Okay, anyways, it is the Thursday Night Hangout. I am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
The pre-Christmas show. I'm so excited that I forgot to do my show in front of the fireplace that I try to do. Maybe next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, the Thursday Night Hangout is a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. At any point during the show, if you have any topics, questions, thoughts, opinions that you would like to add to the show, just drop it in the chat. We will add it to this show. If we do run out of time, we will add it to the very next show. So, without further ado, let us go on. And yes, if I think, you know what, I was actually really contemplating putting flipping my table around so that I would have all the Christmas lights.
Yeah,
However,
do it.
However, the children would be just constantly walking back and forth in the background just to mess with me, and that would be very distracting.
So are they still? I thought they went to bed. I thought you shushed them went to bed.
So they're technically in the room right now. They're not in bed.
So your room is. You're not streaming from the room.
I'm streaming from the kitchen.
Yeah, so you wouldn't see the children.
If they left their room, I would.
Well, why don't you have a deadbolt and lock them in so they can't leave,
like a fire hazard.
Are you not a parent? They have windows they can jump out of.
Their death, yeah, sure.
I mean, fire or fall. Wait, they're not that high off the ground. You know, like a 4-story house.
But it's if they land awkward, they're in trouble.
They'd be fine. You might just break a femur. Okay. No big deal.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this show.
Make them a test.
I apologize that we've missed a couple of shows. I think we've missed 2 in a row, or maybe 3. There was Turkey Day, and then I believe there was. We were supposed to do one a little bit later because of my son's band concert, but that band concert, which was supposed to end at 8:00, ended up ending at like 8:35. So I didn't actually get home until close to 9. Yes. And then,
but then you just love getting to hear extra music from your favorite two children.
Let me just say that I fully support the arts and music and all that stuff. But that was the most bizarre, poorly run band concert I've ever seen in my life.
Yep, that's not surprising when you in schools. You can see some pretty badly run art performances. Yes.
I mean, I could spend probably 30 minutes on how bad it is, but that's not what this show is about. Anyways, then the other reason was last week we didn't have a show because my basketball team was actually in the playoffs and our game wasn't until 8:00. So I didn't actually. I was very pissed off at the end of the game. But, yeah. Anyways, all right.
Your body lived to tell.
All right, so let's talk about some stuff that has happened basically in the past month. So
much time. I've lost track.
Okay, let's talk about our favorite ever crowd-funded game, Star Citizen. There was some news that came out recently, or I guess within the past month, that basically, for those of you who don't know, they have now surpassed the $750 million mark of crowdfunding. However, there is an event that they've started to put on, their own private convention called CitizenCon. And this CitizenCon happened this year. CitizenCon happened between October 19th and 20th, 2024. And so some news broke about what actually was going on behind the scenes. Apparently, leading up to CitizenCon, the company had changed to a 7-day-a-week crunch schedule. And upon basically creating what they needed for CitizenCon, they laid off close to 90% of their QA staff.
QA is overrated. Don't you know production is test?
Oh my God.
QA is overrated, bro. Especially as we know with video games, especially. Just keep that shit in early access perpetually.
Yes, have we met before? I am QA.
I'm just saying you gotta keep up with the times and the trends,
Whatever.
sir. You are a relic of the past, of a highly sun bygone day.
I mean, I understand. Don't get me wrong. There are definitely times within a company where certain departments are going to get they're going to have layoffs. If you have just pushed out a huge game, QA is probably going to be there, but maybe you're not going to need the artist or the musicians anymore. So you're going to either move them to a different project or say bye-bye. Programmers, in certain respects, will also disappear unless you are a cool company that actually keeps your employees after the product is out the door, because you're hopeful that you'll get another product.
Sorry, but that does not meet the shareholder satisfaction quota.
Okay. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about shareholders real quick, okay? Zealeus posted a topic in our off-topic section of Discord about the NBA, and to be honest with you, NBA, the National Basketball Association, it's where all the professional basketball players in the United States play, and it is damn near impossible to find games. You have to have 17 different streaming platforms. 1, 2. As a resident of Atlanta, I would love to see the Hawks play. But the only time I get to see the Hawks play, my local team, is when they're on a nationally televised broadcast. Because
are they ever actually nationally televised?
During the in-season weird ass tournament cup bullshit.
Okay, sorry, I cannot watch those games due to one reason: that court makes me blind.
But it's so special.
I can't take those colors. Like, I look at them, I'm like, did a 4-year-old just take a paint splatter and throw it against the wall and steal it fucking stuff?
On certain courts, absolutely. That's exactly what they did. They allowed their 4-year-old to design the court for them.
I guess we're trying to branch out and reach out to the
I miss the days of okay. I do have a problem with watching NFL games from time to time when they're not in my specific market, and the only way I get to watch certain games, I have to go to a sports bar. But I know that I will always have my local game on one of my local stations.
Yeah. I'll say it's one thing NFL gets pretty much right. It's the ability to watch. And you're right. Like, if you wanted, I'm just throwing out a random team. Like, if you wanted to watch the Seattle Seahawks, good luck most of the time. Like, you're right. But you also do have things like the Red Zone and Sunday Ticket. So it's not necessarily perfect and may not be cheap, but the NFL, if there's one thing to do right, it definitely is making the games accessible, especially in comparison to the other sports leagues.
And case in point is Major League Baseball. Yeah. I know that we're keeping it real local here for a second, but the funny thing is there was a huge news story that broke that Peachtree TV has gained the rights to broadcast 15 Braves games this season. So everyone in the Atlanta market can watch 15 baseball games. You know how many baseball games are in a regular season? Yeah, 162. So 15 of those games can be watched by all.
Yay! I mean, that's 15 games too many as far as baseball goes. But I think it's I know for baseball and NBA, the whole local distribution thing is emblematic of both of those extremely. I'm guessing hockey's not too dissimilar, would be my assumption. To have the local broadcast rights versus NFL is fuck that, we're national. If you don't like it, then
this I guess this is the plus side of not having a local hockey team, because every hockey game that we watch is the nationally nationally broadcasted one.
Let's go.
Anyways, okay, so I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, this is we're going to switch to one more sports topic, and then I think we will exit the sports realm.
I mean, sports are games.
Yes,
We talk
this
about
is true.
games.
Now, I want to bring up the fact that there is a story that has come out around surrounding the New York Jets and how they make their personnel decisions. Well, it turns out that the owner apparently is allowing his teenage sons to sit in on the meetings and also influence the owner's decisions utilizing this perfectly, acceptable scouting technique called Madden rankings. So,
see, I would have approved of this if you just used ChatGPT. Like, hey, ChatGPT, should I cut Aaron Rodgers into the season? Boom, there you go. Like, use a true algorithm to figure it out. I think that's an acceptable way to coach a multi-billion-dollar franchise.
There was the thought of trying to pick up an offensive lineman, but one of his sons goes, "Oh no, his awareness ratings in Madden are terrible. You don't want to pick him up." Kid GPT. Yeah, Kid GPT. Yeah, basically.
I mean, yeah, there you go. Yeah, NFL GPT. There you go. Solves all your problems. And it'll tell you exactly who to trade for in the context of, are you playing in Madden or are you playing with real humans? You can even get a little bit narrowed in to what your case need is. So I think we're onto something. Should I ride the Penix this season or keep with Cousins?
Well, we already know what the decision is for the Atlanta Falcons. So
I know. I just wanted to say ride the Penix.
All right. Anyways, okay. So let's get into some of the other topics. Let's go on to the fact that Sonic 3 is coming to theaters quite soon, and it's already been reported that Sonic 4 has already been greenlit. Yeah.
Here's the thing. So, we were just talking about streaming, right? You know how much I actually give a shit about movies that are going to the theaters?
Probably Jack Diddley.
Pretty much less than Jack Diddley. I honestly have no idea what's out in theaters. 10 years ago, Gladiator 2 over Thanksgiving break, hell yeah, I would have gone seen it. Now I'm like, nah, I'm just going to wait till it comes out on my TV 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now. I really don't care. So as far as theatrical releases and what comes out, whatever. That's kind of what
still,
I think.
Even if it's a theatrical release, it's eventually going to make it to streaming, so you will technically get to see it at some point. But don't get me wrong. The first 2 Sonic movies I thoroughly enjoyed. I have watched them probably way too many times thanks to my children. And I will, yes, of course, I will watch the third one. I don't know if I'll actually watch it at theater, but I'll definitely watch the third one. But I feel like I don't know where else they could take it for the 4th one. So I'm kind of scratching my head on that.
Now these have Jim. Isn't Jim Carrey in them?
He is Dr. Robotnik.
That's about all I know. Now, okay, if it's too much of a spoiler, say so. But could he be in Sonic 3 and 4? Is that even possible?
He is already in Sonic 3. He's actually plays 2. He actually plays 2 characters in Sonic 3. According to the trailer.
Cool.
And his IMDb breakdown, cast list.
Now, just make sure before you see the Sonic movies that you listen to some Proto Man to get yourself prepared.
Anyways, but
no, really, come on.
I know.
Just saying.
I know. I need to listen to some music, man. I've not been able to listen to music. I'll be completely honest with you. I've been spending most of my time watching just random episodes of anime lately. Yeah.
Nice.
Which, by the way, there are some weird ass anime out there. For those who don't know what isekai anime is basically you either die or get sucked into a different reality or video game. And then you have to live there. And now they're just getting either the titles are getting so effing long it's ridiculous, or now the one I just watched was about a guy who got transported into a different reality, and he lived as a sentient vending machine.
Okay, so
Yep.
on Crunchyroll, are all those animes that were like, I once was the most powerful wizard in the earth, but
Yep.
then I died and became a sentient trash can? Is that what those are? Okay. I'll preface this with I don't know any of the freaking genres of anime. I see it has like 3 different genres. I'm like, this means
So
nothing.
isekai is the other world. Harem, of course, is the dude collects a lot of girls.
That's the one I could actually infer.
Shonen, I believe, is
Outside
the
of
one that's
that,
all
yeah.
fighting and punches and stuff. And then there's some other ones that I don't really know. So yeah,
That's about all I care about.
There
Give
you
me
go.
punches and fighting. But more than one punch an episode. Probably.
no Dragon Ball Z then, or any Dragon Ball.
Exactly.
Actually, I've heard that the latest Dragon Ball is not as bad, but I don't know. I haven't watched yet.
Well, I don't say that tongue in cheek, but it is kind of to be amusing where it's like people mock it for that, and yet it's like one of, if not the most like successful animes of all time. Like there's something to be said for that. I guess maybe it's dragging it out so the entire show didn't end in like 13 episodes, because if they didn't fill it, then that's what happened.
Well,
but
no,
still.
the thing is, like it's just the fighting. If they would just speed up the fight, I mean, they've always got a bunch of extra stories going on that actually move in a regular pace. It's just like, in this episode, Goku prepares to do a left kick. 3 episodes later, the kick will miss, and he'll end up accidentally, I don't know, headbutting the dude. And then 20 episodes later, he will either have been defeated and have to go back and retrain, or he will have won the fight.
Sure.
But Bulma got a beautiful sweater on her shopping trip with Krillin during 2 of the episodes in the middle of it. Anyways.
You ever talk about something very confidently and you could just be spewing out BS the entire time, and the person you're talking to is like, I believe every word that just came out of your mouth, even though I have no way of
To be honest with you, I don't know if that actually happened, but it would not surprise me if what I just said about the Bulma going for a sweater. I don't know. I just named 2 characters.
Now I want a sweater.
You wore an awesome sweater to the Final Fantasy event.
Oh, thank you. My one and only Christmas sweater.
Okay. So the next topic is, there's a bunch of experts out there, and I don't know if I want to put them in air quotes or not, but experts that have basically come out and stated that because of the state of consoles and PC and mobile devices, all that jazz, they predict that by the end of this upcoming generation of consoles, that there will be a Nintendo and only one other non-Nintendo console still standing, which means that they predict, they don't know which one, but they predict either PlayStation or Xbox will either die or be on its last breath by the end of this upcoming gen.
So you're talking like, I'm just giving out names. So you're talking the PS6 gen or the current PS5 gen? Well, the way things are going right now, I think the answer is pretty evident, honestly, where it would be the Xbox who goes by the wayside.
Well, I mean, they're already kind of
waffling on the next gen.
1 and 2, they've already started, making the the Game Pass available on the PC so that their library can continue to live if their console doesn't. Because let's be honest, at this point, the Xbox is just it's a PC with their own OS on it.
I mean, obviously, I don't own the Xbox. I have the PS5, but I do hope that Microsoft still continues like future generations of the Xbox, only because competition is good. And if all you have is basically the Nintendo doing not saying it's not successful, but whatever Nintendo does with their own little world, and then PlayStation with the Sony with the PlayStation, that's where you start. Probably more so from the Sony side, then they have no reason to basically innovate the console. And that's always my worry when you only have one vendor in that sphere. So I could easily see Microsoft being like, we don't need the Xbox. I guess the question is the Xbox experience core enough to the overall, I know it's the Game Pass strategy, which, yes, is available in the Windows, and there's been rumors of them trying to get it on the Switch and PlayStation. Would they still continue with the Xbox? Because that is kind of part of that overall gaming strategy, where it is obvious that the future of Microsoft's gaming vision is the Xbox, the Game Pass, with the subscription based. You already kind of see that with the PlayStation with the their version of the Game Pass, the PlayStation Plus, but they have no plans to bring that outside of the PlayStation.
Sony doesn't like to play with others.
So, no, they do not. I know it's actually an issue with. So, I've been playing a lot of Path of Exile 2. It's an early access, but I'm a chump and a sucker, so I went ahead and paid the $30 to play early access, even though it'll be free to play a year from now. But their big thing is it's awkward. So it's one of those where you get like points, right? But like your points, if you buy like stash type of things, like core useful game things, do transfer, but any cosmetic type of things do not transfer between like your PC account and your PSN PlayStation Network PoE account. And it's not the only game where that happens, where like you can have cross save, but things that would cost money for extra stuff do not transfer between games because Sony wants to double up and make you buy it again to get that sweet 30% off the top a second time. Which to me is total BS, but what do you do? I mean, I know what I do. I just don't buy that stuff, or I don't cross progress usually in games anyways.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever utilized a cross-platform save. I think that every single time that I've played a game on a different console, I've just started from the beginning. Now, that being said, the vast majority of the games that I own that are on multiple consoles are Supergiant games, and I want to start those games from the beginning again because I love the music, I love the gameplay, I love the mechanics, and so I'm okay with starting from scratch to play Bastion and Transistor and Hades 2.
Not PlayStation, good lord. Final Fantasy 14, I've used it there because I switched entirely from PlayStation to PC for the last expansion. So I mean, it's nice. It is a nice functionality to have.
It would be nice, you know, if it was, you know, I personally, you know, once again, I'm not a huge MMOer, but I'm basically not an MMOer, period. But that being said, I think that there is one game that I believe has a cross save that I could utilize if I could remember my password, and that would be Warframe. Because I now have 3 Warframe accounts. I got one for the Switch, one through Steam, and then I set up a separate one for my son so he could play it, and I wanted him to learn from the beginning and not just be thrown into the deep end, because Warframe is a game that it benefits you, and you also, you know, your style of play could be different. I don't want him or me to have to like completely change out our loadouts every single time we play the game.
I could see it being useful in Hoyoverse games because you can go like Genshin Impact. You can go between your mobile phone to PC to console. Same thing with ZZZ and whatever the turn-based game is that I'm having a brain fart on now. So I can see it on Hoyoverse type of games where it's so maybe like when there's cell phone games that you can play on your cell phone and a PC / console. That's where I really see the utility of cross-platform save. But to your point, I'm rarely going to go between my PC and my console because it's like, why? I might try it on each just to see which I prefer. For instance, like I played PoE 1, Path of Exile 1 on the PlayStation, and I learned I hate it because inventory management sucks
without a
on
mouse
the
and keyboard.
console. So yes, I'm like, this is miserable. So and also trying to read text. On a TV versus a screen, to me, was also a giant pain in the arse. And like, at least the PoE 1 where you had like all your sockets and gear, it just, nothing about it I enjoyed using the controller on the console. So I very quickly switched back to the PC. But even being able to try the different platforms, like to me, that in itself is a nice benefit.
And I know this is not a digital platform, but I've talked about the fact that there is the Pokemon trading game for both the PC and of course, with the actual cards. And if I were to actually play Pokemon, I would much rather play with the physical cards because the PC is terrible with the text because it literally it doesn't give you like a pop-up window with the text because some of these Pokemon have like crazy ass stuff in there. They actually keep it bound inside the actual card image. So it's literally just a big ass image. It's not a text box that I can enlarge with my puny eyes. Yeah.
Well, that's dumb. What about Legends of Runeterra? Have you played that on the PC and your phone?
If you hover over first of all, the text is pretty short and sweet. But it also if you click on the card, it will give you a blown up version of it. And if there's a word on there like Challenger or Fury or Gloom or some other word that's basically like my gosh, a skill or something that applies to several different cards, you can with your cursor or your finger, depending on what device you're using, it will give you more information on it. So you don't have to guess. You don't have to go to 5 menus down to get to the glossary.
No, I mean, it makes logical sense that you just be able to hover over with your mouse or click on it and see, like on your phone, tap, see the definition, like I'm assuming tap again to make it go away.
For the thing, you just remove your finger and it'll just disappear.
Oh, I see. I would rather it to reverse, only because does the finger ever get, so if you have to hold your finger there, does your finger ever get in the way of
No, they usually try to pop it up away from where your finger is.
Okay, so the text isn't long enough where that's an issue.
Pretty, it's they've cut it,
cut and dry. Yeah, see, I mean, but that seems like a smart user interface. Imagine that.
Interesting. Thinking of the users, that's crazy. What kind of black magic is that?
Why would I think of the users? So I could just think of.
People are just give me the money. I don't care if you can read or you want things more accessible. And
actually, no. The less you can read, the less you know, and so the more you just kind of try and see what happens, and therefore you actually
throw everything at the wall and see what sticks approach. Okay, now quickly transitioning back to consoles. We were talking about the next gen consoles, and of course the prediction is that there will be, of course, the Switch 2 and then some other thing. Now, the rumor about the Switch 2 is something that I thought that they were actually going to implement in the first one, but they didn't. But apparently this time, the rumor has it that when you dock your Switch 2, the processing power will actually increase. That the dock will not just be a fancy piece of plastic that just connects to your, that basically transitions from the connection to an HDMI into your TV. There will actually be components in that docking station that will basically pump your Switch up.
The placebo effect made it feel like that.
Well, I mean, the placebo effect was the larger the screen, it looked better, and so of course it's got to be doing more.
Yeah.
But this time, there's the dock station will actually have processing power in it.
Cool. So we'll see what happens, and I mean, supposedly Switch 2 is coming out in 2025. We'll actually see what it is and what the specs are, and if it stays in stock for the first 6 months.
I predict that it's going to be quite the scavenger hunt to get a Switch 2 early, unless as soon as they announce it, you're one of those lucky SOBs that has been spamming the pre-order key to get into that queue early. Yeah, because I'd also be very interested to see how much, because the thing that's going to slow down is processors. How many they're going to be able to produce, because it's a physical device.
Yeah. All I care about is my Nintendo Pro. I'm assuming my Nintendo Pro's controller will be compatible.
I don't foresee them creating a new technology to overtake Bluetooth. So
that'd be kind of silly not to have that integrated.
Sniper Bots will get them all, of course. Of course they will. And we'll have to go to the third party markets or secondhand markets or whatever you want to call them.
Can't say I ever did that for my consoles. Like, I mean, I'm glad I got them, but it wasn't like that much of a need. Or I'm like, yes.
I just happened to be going down the aisles in a Walmart off of Howell Mill. And this Walmart is like literally in the basement of a parking deck. And I went by the video game section just because. And I was like, oh, wait, whoa, that looks like Nintendo Switches. And so I asked the person working there, like, hey, are those actual Nintendo Switches? Like, yeah. And I said, can I buy 2? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I bought 2. I still have one of them, and the other one I sold to our very good friend Dev.
Nice.
So yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to pause briefly to thank the individuals who help Ultra Confusion be the amazing Ultra Confusion that you love and adore, and that, of course, is the friends of the show. So let us start off with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships with local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the AV master himself. That, of course, is Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Wackhead 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next shout out we got to give is to the man who can help get all those aches and pains out of your shoulders and backs and legs if you sit or do crazy things while you game. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the music maestro himself, and that, of course, is CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Ultra Confusion? CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. The final shout out we got to give is to the original backer of Ultra Confusion. And that, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both the development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings, and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist, Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know at this very moment in time, you're like, how do I become a friend of the show? Well, I am going to tell you.
Aren't you already? Aren't they already all friends?
But now they can get their name in the spotlight. Ladies and gentlemen, Ultra Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you. And so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, interdimensional beings, gods, demigods, vampires, werewolves, mummies, swamp creatures, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 tiers that you can pledge at. There's the $1 a month tier. That's $1 a month. There's $12 a year. What that gets you is access to the early access to all of our playthroughs, as well as the ability to participate in Ultra Confusion patron-only post. Now, if you're feeling a little bit frisky, you can go up to the $5 a month. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. Not only do you get everything at the $1 tier, but you gain your name or organization added to the Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday night hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Ultra Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/altered confusion today. Okay, so I do want to announce something, or I guess clear the air about something. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that Ultra Confusion has basically had this long-running tradition of going to at least 2 conventions every single year. And we've been working as media or panelists for those conventions for quite some time. I am here to tell you that as of right now, Ultra Confusion is not scheduled for any conventions for 2025. There's a couple reasons for that. One is, as much as I love MomoCon, I think that for Ultra Confusion, MomoCon has become too big. The stuff that we were able to do at MomoCon back in like 2018 and is not even feasible now. Things have changed. And also I think that personally, the pandemic kind of screwed me over, and I don't do as well with very large, very loud crowds. And also MomoCon is now ginormous, and it's just too much. That being said, there is a very good chance. I'm still trying to work out everything, but there is a chance that I may do a convention the week after MomoCon. I'm not 100% sure, but I might be headed to Charlotte the week after what would have been MomoCon.
What about what's that one up in Nashville,
ChatterCon.
the friend one?
Because as much as I would love to do ChatterCon again, there's a couple reasons why Ultra Confusion will be absent from ChatterCon unless something changes in the next, basically month. One, it is, I love the convention, but I've just, because of all the stuff that's happened at the house with Helene and all the the flooding and me basically having to Jimmy rake stuff to do stuff in a place that's not the normal office, I have not been able to think about conventions. I've lost track of time. Also, it is not the cheapest from a hotel room standpoint. I mean, it is reasonably priced, but for me right now, it's not something I can easily swing. So Chattacon, unless something crazy happens, I will not be attending in any capacity. So,
Gotcha.
but that's not to say that in 2026 that we don't make our triumphant return to Chattacon. It literally slipped by me. All the deadlines and trying to get all my ducks in a row just didn't happen.
I'm just saying, could still go to MomoCon as a fan.
I think that to be honest with you, since I've done conventions basically as media or panelist, I think I would absolutely go have like a mental breakdown if I went just as an attendee, because I truly would have no idea what the hell to do.
You walk around.
Someone would have to
check
come
out the
find me at the end of the
booths.
day, because I will have walked the vendor hall like 50 million times, because I will just zone
You're
out
getting-
and that's all I'll do.
Root beer from what's that place? Wild Bill's. You get like 8 refills. You watch some wrestling. You go to some panels as a fan.
You know.
You don't have to overthink it.
No.
I'm just saying, there's always DragonCon.
Yeah, no.
What if MomoCon's a bit too much? You don't think DragonCon would be?
I think
Come on
DragonCon
now.
is too much. It's not a bit too much. It is too much.
It is. It is 100% too much. I don't like. So sometimes on the forums or Reddits, people are like, it'd be cool if we had DragonCon twice
That's
a year.
MomoCon.
I'm like, hell, well, yeah, that's my first reaction. I go to MomoCon. But on the other hand, I'm like, hails to the no. Like, I could do one weekend of DragonCon, but like any more than that, and it just no, like just too much. Although in a weird way, so like my little robotics weekends are kind of like a big mini convention. Because even like when I go to Houston in April, that's like 60 to 80,000 people in a convention hall, basically. So I definitely get my fill of people. It's like I'm fine when I'm in those kind of crowded spaces when I have an escape. So like when I go to the robotic stuff, like I know I have like a lunch break. I can get away from the craziness. I know like I have like defined periods, like DragonCon. Now that we get hotels, like I know I can go escape to the hotel. So I think like knowing that like I can escape from the crazyville, like helps me to kind of keep the sanity in a way. Like, I think that's actually like the hardest part for me of like when we go to DragonCon without a hotel is like knowing there's no escape. And like, it almost like killed my desire to want to go back day after day, because I knew like once I got there in the morning, like I couldn't leave. And that got to be a bit much.
And I could totally understand that. I think that's one of the other things about MomoCon is, I love the AFK rooms, and if you're ever at a convention and the AFK room is run competently, it is a great escape to help you kind of clear your head. Okay, so I've got a couple I've got a couple notes here. I do want to quickly, since we are within 5 or 6 days of Christmas, I do want to pause and basically name drop some stuff that I think would be good to have. First of all, any of the Ultra Confusion merch, all you got to do is go to ultraconfusion.tv/merch, and you can get a coffee mug, a pet food bowl, a hat, which I am not wearing the hat tonight. But you can get a hat, you can get flip-flops, you can get a notebook, you can get one of the vinyl stickers, which I've got on the back of my laptop right here, and I'll try to put it on screen. Bam! Shazam! Look how great that looks. But also, if you are a, I know this is going to sound weird, but there is an anime that is a musical, that I believe is it streams exclusively. Thank you. It is a very nice sticker. I've got one on the back of my laptop, and I've got one on my rear windshield, and it is high quality. It's been on my rear windshield since I bought my car, and it hasn't faded, which is phenomenal because I've had some of like the cheaper ones, those cheaper vinyl stickers that do fade if you leave them out in the sun, but this guy is high quality.
So you have your laptop full of stickers. I feel like there's two types of people. There's people like me who don't put stickers on shit because I like the OG look. And there's people like you who go like all out with stickers. Like it's not in between. It's not like you do one or two stickers. It's either like, I'm sticker man, or it's like, nope, I like the clean cut. Like there's not really a whole lot of in between.
The only way to get around that is if you get one of the vinyl wraps, which is basically one big ass sticker. Which I've actually seen a couple times from indie authors. So they'll bring their laptop. So if they've got any ideas or thoughts, they could just type it up, and then when they pop up their laptop, they basically have like a billboard, an additional billboard that'll show off all their information.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
But anyways, an anime that's a musical that I think is streaming exclusively on Max. Though I'm sure that you could probably buy it. I know that we are in the digital age, but with everything, with shit bouncing everywhere these days, being it video games, computer games and video games, probably gonna be harder to find the hard copies of certain games. But for movies, there's still the Blu-ray option. I highly recommend. The movie's called Belle. It's got a Beauty and the Beast kind of feel to it. The music is phenomenal, and the animation is great. The story, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would say like 85% of it is family friendly. 15% of it deals with abuse. But I don't want to give away, but yeah.
So I'm going to make a complete side tangent. So you're talking about movies that like are 85% kid friendly, and it's like the other 15%. New, I guess it was maybe out in theaters. I don't know, but it's on Amazon Prime. It's Red One.
I want my kids to see it, but I know I need to watch it first because I fear that there's going to be some stuff in there.
Yes, it's the most fucking bizarre thing. It's a Christmas movie with Dwayne Rock Johnson and Chris Evans and some other people. And like 90% of it's fine. And then there's like 3 random swear words in there. And it's like, in the context, so to be fair, in the context of the movie, for that scene, the swear words actually make sense. Like they're not just like randomly thrown out like a Deadpool movie, right? Like in the context of this, I'll be forthright. I think Red One was a good movie. I actually really enjoyed it. I know I got lambasted. I'm like, this is just a fun movie. It's literally Hobbs and Shaw in the form of a Christmas movie. That's how I took it as. It's him just shooting his shit basically with Chris Evans. But yes, it's a Christmas movie, and they throw in like random curse words that in the context of the script makes sense, but in the greater context of trying to be a PG, like a movie that could have appealed to kids, I'm like, this was totally stupid. Like absolutely. Like apparently like he was going to watch the movie first. You're going to see like, really, I can't trust my kids. That's how I feel about it. It's not like outside of that, it would have been actually fine to show, but then you just do that. I'm like, Why? Why?
Well, to be honest with you, if you want to
I
talk
like-
about a movie, a family-friendly movie from our youth that my wife and I have been scared to death of showing our kids because we didn't know how they would take it or what they would do, and that, of course, is Home Alone.
Yeah.
No,
I thought you were gonna say
God,
Die
no.
Hard.
Kids aren't there yet. However, that is one of my wife and my Christmas traditions. We watch Die Hard on Christmas Eve every single year.
No, I would recommend. I mean, it depends how you feel about your kids and swearing. I would say that's probably the most adult thing
Mhm.
in there, but it's definitely there. Like it's not missable. You
So
can't really skip
if
over
my
it. It's
kids
part of
can
it. So
easily watch like The Avengers, would they have any issue with Red One?
I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, spoiler alert: the good guys
Holy
win.
crap.
They save Christmas.
Okay, so it is a superhero
I know.
movie.
Who would have thunk it? Yeah. I mean, it's an enjoyable, but yeah, yeah. Kind of thinking it as the Avengers. That's actually not a bad analogy, to be honest.
Since I've been watching just way too much anime, basically, if you can get any of the Studio Ghibli movies, especially Porco Rosso, Princess Mononoke, Castle in the Sky, or Laputa, depending on where you're buying it, Valley of the Winds. I'm missing one. Did I already say Howl's Moving Castle? I think I did. Okay, well, Howl's Moving Castle.
But no,
Hell, buy the book, Howl's Moving Castle. It's different than the movie. I'll tell you that right now.
I still need to see it. That's one I have not actually
come
seen.
over. My kids will love to watch it with you. It's good. It's a good movie. And after I don't know when it was originally released, but I was reading something online and a scene now makes so much more sense to me. And I'm like, how did I miss this? Because it's definitely something you've got to watch twice. You got to watch the movie twice for you to potentially get the aha moment.
That's fair.
Yeah. If you are a Persona fan, there is that. Why can I never remember the name of the game? Every single time I'm about to say it, I always forget. It's mother effer. No,
Metaphysics?
Metaphorical Fantasio. Yeah.
That's
if you like the Persona games, this is a game where you have to build relationships with your friends, your buddies, your allies, your followers. I
mean, I can't build relationships in real life, so why not do it in a video game?
There's like, you get quests that have like time limits to it. There are certain actions that take like half a day. Other actions take a full day. So that might be annoying or stressful for some that want. I know that I stress over, like, I've got 6 days to do it. Well, shit, maybe I should do it really quickly and then get my ass whooped. Or I'm having trouble with the boss and I look it up and they're like, oh, yeah, you got to have a level 17 warrior. And I'm like, I have a level 6 warrior who's also a level 5 mage and a level 10 healer and a level 3 because I'm scared to death of they allow you to switch classes in the game, and I'm afraid to have like put all my eggs in one basket for specific characters, so I want to sprinkle it here and there, and now I'm basically getting my ass whooped because I don't have that special ability that would make this boss fight really easy that gets unlocked at level 15 for warrior. I'm like, great.
Wait, have you ever played an RPG, dude? You know you will never be a jack of all trades. You always go all in on a class so you can kick your ass as that class.
I know. And I think this just a side note or sidebar with Persona. Your main character, you could keep changing out your special creature or persona is what it's called, and it basically gives you a different class. And then all your other your party members have only that specific one. But in this game, Metaphor Refantasio, you can swap any and all, which potentially in the end could get you a very well-rounded class, because you can unlock in a little bit into the game, you can unlock the ability to inherit a skill from a different class. So you can, like, if you level up the healer high enough, you can get the skill to do like a light heal on the entire party, instead of getting your running through all your potions or whatever in your inventory.
Super useful.
So, if you like Persona, that's the game for you. But anyways, speaking of games for you, there was a game that was a franchise that was super duper popular like a while ago, and it was called Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance. I think it was like 17 years ago or something. I can't remember when the original one was.
I recognize.
But they tried to bring it back in 2021, and I am sad to say,
it was like a remastered version or something.
I'm sorry to say that the latest version is going to be delisted on February 24th. So if you want in on this game, which apparently did not have all that good of reviews, but if you want in on that game, you've got 2 months to get your hands on it.
What is the game? Okay, it's not Dark Alliance. There's a. What is the game? Okay, there's another Dungeons and Dragons game from back in the day, that was from that same era, that was, re-released or remastered, whatever we're calling it nowadays. That was good, and it is not this one. I know, because I recognize, like, that title, Dark Alliance, is not what I'm thinking of. But now I can't think of the actual game of what I'm thinking of.
I can't remember what it is either. I know that it was a spiritual successor. It was like a spin-off of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and Icewind Dale, for those who played.
I want to say it was a PS2 game I'm thinking of from the Dungeons and Dragons. I remember, like, you could get like Driz T as like a secret character. Was like part of the fun.
Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
Is it Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance? Is that what I'm thinking of? Let's see here.
That was released in 2001.
Yep, you're right. That's 100% it. I was like, I thought Dark Alliance was a good game.
Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance is the one that was.
Fucking A. Really? You have to have Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance is enough. Now we have to be like, well, maybe we should make a Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance so we can confuse people.
That one had an 87% Metacritic score, whereas.
No, I remember playing the hell out of that game in college with my roommate. It was a great game.
Let's see here. Let me look it up here on Dungeons and Dragons Dark. Whoop, I had it. Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance has a 53% Metacritic score. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So just, heads up, if you want in on that game, I don't know if you may. There is an anime. I love how everything relates back to an anime for me right now. Called Shangri-La Frontier. Is the basis is there's this guy who is called a trash gamer. He basically picks up like the shittiest titles and masters them. And he's like part of a group. Like, there's tons of people out there, and then the store owner convinces him to try this god tier title, which is like the perfect MMO. And he's like, well, why not? I've played all this trash games. Let me change. And then, of course, he gets sucked into that world, and he's like, this is the most amazing thing in the world. But he utilizes all of his skills from the crap games to his own benefit. So if maybe you're a trash gamer and you want a piece of Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, or
You know what? Sorry, I mean, look at. I think I own Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance. I think I actually played it on the PS5. It's funny. No, because I'm looking like, wait a second. No, yeah, because it's a mostly online co-op type of game. No, I actually own it, which clearly I'm heartbroken because clearly I played the game a lot.
Of course, if you're a trash gamer, you would be remiss if you didn't own. Let's see, what platform is this on? Xbox. Drake of the 99 Dragons, which I don't own, by the way.
What happened to the 98th?
I don't know, but apparently that game is absolute crap. And then another absolute crap game is which I actually own for the original Xbox, is a game called. I think it's called Stake. Stake.
No. So the idea of crap games are kind of fun to me. So there's a Steam game. It's called Dwarven Realms. It has crap graphics. It's an RPG, but the actual gameplay loop is absolutely fun to play. The essence of the game is you're there as a dwarf because it's Dwarven Realms, and literally like it's kind. I don't want to say it's oh my gosh, I'm a total brain fart on the genre. I want to say it's roguelite, but it is in the sense that basically you play that level and hordes just keep on coming at you, keep on coming at you, keep on coming at you, and they increase. But there comes a point where like you basically beat enough to move on to like basically the next dungeon level. But there is something absolutely addicting about the gameplay loop because you get like you can do like lightning, arrows, etc., etc. And you just are literally annihilating like hundreds of enemies. And in like the world of Souls, you know, Souls is all the rage, where it's like you must defeat these two really hard enemies. There's absolutely something about just decimating hundreds of thousands of enemies on your screen with like big ass fucking lightning blast. And this game totally links into that and does it very well. So it's kind of like one of those games where you think about, we're like, I don't want to call it a crap game because that's not. It's actually a fun game. But it easily could have been a crap game. Like if that makes sense. Because like it doesn't have great graphics, it doesn't have that, but they got like the gameplay loop just right to put it squarely outside of a crap game.
I've definitely
versus a game, like Dark Alliance, where I remember playing it. I'm like, wow, this is really not a fun game. The only reason it even made it as far as it did was because of the graphics and the title, obviously.
Yeah, I probably have some crappy games in my repertoire that I might still own the hard copies of. Usually they're like the competitors to like popular series, because I always got to be that renegade. I mean, I was the guy. I don't have the charger cord anymore, but I still have my Microsoft Zune. It's in my top drawer in my in my nightstand.
I have one of those. I know exactly where it is. I don't remember what actual MP3 player it is though. I can picture it.
I've got a Creative Labs.
I think it might have been a Creative Labs.
I don't know.
That's something I haven't thought about. Now I want to boot the damn thing up and see if like it still works. Because I had so many like fun MP3s. I won't say where they came from, but I had a lot of MP3s on there.
From CDs that you owned, of course, Zealeus. Duh.
I mean, technically you don't own CDs. You just license the music to play it. So whatever.
Here's yet another reason. I know that we are now in a digital age. It's beautiful to have all these digital things at your fingertips. But if Skynet were to actually destroy all of our digital connections somewhere down the road, and you could lose your library, whereas if you had the physical copy, you could continue to watch that, or play it, or read it, or
guess what? If Skynet happens and the online world stops like that, we're all fucked and
That's
getting
when you
died.
go into hiding in your bomb shelter that you've been secretly building in your backyard for the past 30 years.
Ha! It's not so secret now.
I didn't
Now
say where
is
it
it?
was. Oh crap! I did say it was in my backyard. Never mind. I forget that. I don't know what he's talking about. But yeah.
That's why he tore down that tree.
Ha ha ha! It all makes sense now. No, but yeah. Anyways, all right, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we've reached the end of the show, but I do want to wish everyone a very happy and safe holidays, no matter what
Indeed.
holiday you celebrate. Hopefully, you get some good loot. And let's see here. What is the 20th? Huh.
Speaking of loot, I have
Yes.
one last random story. So you probably don't play, but you heard the game
Yes.
Balatro, right? So basically, it's no so when I say this, there's no microtransactions or anything. You buy the game, and basically, it's a poker game with RPG elements. You do all kinds of crazy shit in it. Great gameplay loop. I forget what country it is. I think it's like Australia. Give it a basically NC 18. You have to be 18 to buy the game because it encourages gambling and because it teaches you the way of poker. And yet, as the developer pointed out in very sternly, actually, a humorously slated way, games like FIFA and other EA games where you have clear as day literal loot boxes that you have to purchase with money, get a rating of 3+.
18 plus
And
in the
guy-
Pan-European Game Information, which is the PEGI rating system.
Thank you, Peggy. And him just pointing out the hypocrisy, which 100% is hypocrisy, this makes me cackle because it's stupid.
Anyway, EA Sports FC 25, which I think is basically
FIFA.
FC is not FIFA. It's
Isn't that football club?
You're right, football club. You're right, football club. It has a 3+ rating.
Yeah. Yep. Makes perfect logical sense in this beautiful world we live in, just like we somehow elected Elon Musk to be our president.
If you are Zealeus would be better person to.
It's a fun game. If you like card games in general, get it. That's what it comes down to. If you like card games like poker, spades, whatever, and you enjoy those, get it. You won't regret it. It teaches you how to play the game. Like you don't have to know how to play poker or whatever. They'll teach you how to play it. It's a great on the go game, and like it basically is an endless game loop to it, in a good way.
And if you're looking for something a little less gambly but still like playing card type game, that's a single player kind of adventure game that I find most of the time relaxing. There is a game out there called The Solitaire Conspiracy, which is it's basically just solitaire, but not your normal solitaire. They different instead of having your normal 4 suits, there's different. The suits have basically they're all kind of factions or spy groups, and once you lay down the ace for that group, your king, queen, and jack have special abilities that will help like change a stack of cards, maybe resort them, or grab you the next one for a specific type of card. It's a lot of fun, and it's got a little story.
Nice.
It's got a spy, a cloak and dagger storyline that's happening as well. So, anyways,
Cool.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, Zealeus, would you be up for doing a show on the 26th of December? All right,
I don't see
ladies
why
and
not.
gentlemen, we will be back one more time in 2024 for your viewing pleasure. But until then, I would like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure getting ready to come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next week for another Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.